for this video, we will talk about transforming y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, which is the standard form of quadratic function, into another form of quadratic function, which is y is equal to a times quantity x minus h squared plus k, and vice versa. So first of all, we will talk about transforming the standard form into that new form or other form of quadratic function. So I'm going to give the given first, and we need to transform the given into this form. Okay? So let's say I have y is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 3. But first, before we solve this given, we will check the steps on how are we going to change this into this form. So let us go back to your module. So these are the steps in changing the standard form of quadratic equation into the new form of quadratic equation, which is y is equal to a quantity x minus h squared plus k. So the first one that we need to do is we need to factor out a in ax squared plus bx. So we will factor out the coefficient of the quadratic term in the quadratic function. So in this example, wala naman, or the coefficient of the quadratic term is equal to 1, a is equal to 1, therefore we do not need to factor it out. So let's move on to the second step. The second step is to transpose c, or the constant term, beside y. So let us apply that step. So we need to transpose positive 3 beside y. So it will become now negative. So positive 3 magiging siyang negative because we will transpose it. Okay, so y minus 3 is equal to x squared plus 2x. Ayan. And then, let's go back. The third step is we need to complete the square. So, in this case, ang i-complete natin na square ay yung nasa right side ng equation. So, kung naaalala nyo, nung quadratic equation, we have a method called completing the square. So, it is just the same as that. No? So, in completing the square, we will use the coefficient of the linear term. Okay? So, ang linear term dito ay 2x. Ang coefficient niya ay 2. So, ang gagawin natin sa coefficient niya, para malaman natin yung term na hinahanap natin, ito, dito, para maging trinomial siya, we will divide the coefficient of the linear term by 2. And after we divide that, we need to square it. Okay? So, 2 divided by 2, that is 1. Squared, that is 1. So, therefore, the term that we are looking for is 1. Okay? That is 1. Now, we added 1 here on the right side of the equation. We also need to add 1 on the left side of the equation. Just like when you are using completing the square sa quadratic equation, di ba? Sa quadratic function, ganun din yung rule. Kapag ginagamit natin yung completing the square. Pag nag-add tayo, nahanap na natin yung term na hinahanap natin, we need to also add that term on the left side of the equation. So it will become y minus 3 and then plus 1 yung in-add natin, no? So plus 1. And then I'm going to just rewrite this trinomial. So x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then let's go back. The fourth step is we need to simplify everything. So how do we able to simplify this? So we will solve this left side of the equation. So, pagsasamahin natin yung constant term, pwede natin sila pag-combine. So, negative 3 plus 1, that is negative 2. And then, the trinomial, we need to factor the trinomial. Okay? So, kung naalala nyo ng grade 8 kayo, factoring perfect square trinomial. So, ang gagawin nyo lang, kukunin nyo yung square root ng quadratic term, which is x. Kukunin nyo yung square root ng constant term, which is 1. And then, kukunin nyo yung sign ng middle term or ng linear term, which is positive. And then, i-square nyo lang siya. So, that is how you factor this. And then, we need to make our answer look like this, di ba? So, ang kulang na lang na gagawin natin is we need to transpose negative 2 to the right side of the equation. So, after natin siya i-transpose to the right side of the equation, it will become like this. So, y is equal to quantity x plus 1 squared. Negative 2 will become positive 2. And then, kung nagtataka kayo kung nasan yung a, kapag walang a na nakalagay dyan, that is invisible 1. So, therefore, looking at our answer, same na siya nung gagawin nating form doon sa given natin. So, y is equal to quantity x plus 1 squared plus 2. Wala si a. Bakit wala si a? Kapag wala siya, that is equal to 1. Invisible 1. Always remember. So, this is now your answer. Kapag tinransform pala natin tong standard form ng quadratic function na to, we will come up with this function. Okay? So, let us solve another example. Next is, let's say we have a given in standard form, of course. So, let's say we have y is equal to 3x squared plus 6x plus 4. And then we need to transform this form into this form of quadratic function. So, let us use, again, the steps. So, the first one is we need to factor out the coefficient of the quadratic term. So, in this case, in this example, meron ng value yung coefficient ni quadratic term. Unlike the first one kasi that is equal to 1, no? Invisible 1 again. So, dito, we need to factor it out na, unlike the first example. So, for us to factor it out, ilabas lang natin si 3. Okay? And then, pagkalabas kay 3, we need to divide the original term by 3. So, 3x squared divided by 3, matitira na lang dito si x squared. And then, plus 6x divided by 3, that is equal to 2x. Yeah, 2x. And then, we have plus 4 here. And then next is we need to transpose the constant term beside y. So we need to transpose positive 4 beside y. So y, positive 4 will become negative. So minus 4 is equal to 3 quantity x squared plus 2x. Okay? So now, what we need to do is to complete the square here. So we need to complete the square just like what we did earlier. So y minus 4 is equal to 3. So x squared plus 2x. And we need to look for the missing term there. So to look for the missing term there, we will use the coefficient of the linear term. So we need to divide the coefficient 2 by 2 and we need to square it. So 2 divided by 2, that is 1 squared, that is 1. So the last term here is 1. So now that we complete the square, don't forget po na kung ano yung in-add natin dito, i-add din natin sa kabila. But then, there are difference here. Kasi, as you can see, finactor out natin si A. Diba? Imbis na plus 1 yung i-add natin dito sa left side ng equation, we need to multiply the number that we will add to the coefficient of the quadratic term, which is 3. So, kanina kasi, wala tayong problem sa example number 1 kasi ang coefficient ng quadratic term ay 1, which is invisible, obviously. So, wala tayong minultiply. Hindi na natin kailangan i-multiply. Kung ano na lang yung in-add natin dito sa right side ng equation, yun na lang din yung i-add natin sa left side ng equation. Kasi kapag minultiply mo, times 1, you will just come up with the same number. Pero in this given, may iba na. Kasi, yung A mo, may value na siya, which is 3. Therefore, yung number na hinanap mo, na nag-complete dun sa square, which is 1, you need to multiply it by 3. Tapos, yun yung i-add mo sa left side ng equation. So, 1 times 3, the answer is 3. Positive. So, y minus 4 plus 3. That is the number that you're going to add on the left side of the equation. And then equals 3 x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay? We will continue the solution here. So now, we can simplify. Okay? Complete the square. Natapos na natin yan. We can now simplify. So here, we can solve or we can combine the constant on the left side of the equation. So y negative 4 plus 3, the answer is negative 1. So y minus 1. Okay, is equal to 3. And then, paki-factor out po itong perfect square trinomial. So, when we factor it out, it will become the square root of x squared, that is x, the square root of 1, that is 1, and then the sign of the middle term or the linear term, which is positive, and then we need to square it. So, ayan na. And then, the last step is to transpose negative 1 on the right side. Kasi yun yung k mo. Yun yung k. Okay? So, it will become like this. Y is equal to 3 quantity x plus 1 squared. Negative 1 will become positive 1. And therefore, this form of quadratic function is equivalent to the given. Or when you transform this given in standard form, it will become like this. Okay? Kung ita-transform mo siya into the new form of quadratic function, the answer is y is equal to 3 quantity x plus 1 squared plus 1. Okay? So now, we are already finished in transforming our standard form of quadratic function into a new form of quadratic function, which is this one. How about vice versa? Paano kung pagbabalik-tarin naman natin sila? Paano kung si y is equal to a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k, ita-transform natin siya into the standard form of quadratic function, which is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Babalik na rin naman natin. Paano kapag ang given ay yung form na to ng quadratic function? Paano natin siya gagawing standard form of quadratic function? So let's say, for example, I have the given here. Excuse. Let's say I have y is equal to quantity x plus 3 squared minus 4. And then I'm going to change it or transform it into the standard form of quadratic function, which is this one. Okay, binaligtad lang natin. So, let us see your module for the steps. So, ang first step daw that we need to follow is we need to square the binomial. We need to square the binomial. So, kanina, as you can see, we need to complete the square. Now, we need to square the binomial. So, how do we square binomials, Ma'am Noemi? This one, you can solve this using FOIL method. Kaso, i-rewrite nyo pa siya like this. So, x plus 3 squared is the same as quantity x plus 3 times quantity x plus 3 kasi dalawa. Pwede nyo gamitin yung FOIL method for you to square the binomial. Pero kung kabisado nyo yung method on how you square it, that is not a problem. That will be your advantage. Pero, para makita nyo, sige, I am going to solve this using FOIL method. So, it will become y is equal to, solve natin ito. Okay, so x plus 3 using FOIL method. In-expand lang natin to, yung term na to. So, minus 4. So, using FOIL method, solve natin yung product nito dalawang binomial. So, x times x, that is x squared. And then, x times positive 3, that is positive 3x. And then, 3 times x, that is positive 3x also. And then we have 3 times 3, that is positive 9. 3x plus 3x, we can combine them. Therefore, that is equal to 6x. Now, pag-combine na natin sila. This will be now equal to x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, and we have minus 4 here. Okay, so y is equal to x squared plus 6x plus, what is the next step pala? Apply the distributive property of multiplication, or you can use FOIL method. This is what it talks about here, no? And then we need to simplify. So here, ayan, ginamit niyo yung FOIL method or distributive property of multiplication to simplify the binomial. Now, we did get this solution, no? Ngayon, we will combine the coefficients. The constants, which is 9 and negative 4. Kasi pwede natin sila i-combine, okay, pagsamahin. So, positive 9 or 9 minus 4, that is equal to positive 5. So, it will become plus 5. Therefore, the given become the standard form of quadratic function. So, medyo mas mabilis ito kaysa sa una. Yung una medyo mas mahaba kaysa dito. Ito, mabilis lang. So, you just need to simplify the binomial and then combine the constants that you will solve all the way. Okay? So, this given is equal to y is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 5 in standard form of quadratic function. Okay? So, another given, let's say I have y is equal to negative 2 times quantity x minus 4 squared plus 5. And then, we will be changing this into the standard form of quadratic function. Yan. So, let's write our solution. So, again, the first step is we need to square the binomial. Okay, so it will become y is equal to negative 2 And then, we need to expand this. No, kasi gagamitin natin is FOIL method. So, x minus 4, and then, x minus 4, and then we have plus 5. And then, let us use distributive property of multiplication. So, in short, FOIL method is just the same kasi you're just distributing. Okay, the variables are the numbers. So, we have negative 2. And then, we need to use FOIL method to solve this. X times x, that is x squared. X times negative 4, that is negative 4x. Then negative 4 times x, that is also negative 4x. And then negative 4 times negative 4, that is positive 16. Now, negative 4 and negative 4x and negative 4x, we can combine them. No? Ang answer dyan is negative 8x. So, we can write x squared minus 8x. Pinagsama na natin yung dalawang negative 4x. And then plus 16 there. And then we have plus 5 here. Now, we need to distribute negative 2 to each term in the trinomial. Okay? So, y is equal to, distribute natin si negative 2. So, negative 2 times x squared, that is negative 2x squared. And then, negative 2 times negative 8x, that is positive 16x. Negative times negative is positive, okay? So, negative 2 times 16, the answer is negative 32. Yeah. And then we have plus 5. And then now, we will combine the constants, which is negative 32 and 5. So, negative 2x squared plus 16x. Negative 32 plus 5, the answer is negative 27. Therefore, this is the equivalent form in standard form of quadratic function of our given, which is y is equal to negative 2 quantity x minus 4 squared plus 5. So, kapag tinransform natin yung given natin, you will come up in this form of quadratic function, which is actually in standard form, which is y is equal to negative 2x squared plus 16x minus 27. Lastly, for this video, we will determine the values of h and k. So, I don't know if you know, pero h and k, this represents as the center. Okay? So, malalaman nyo to later on why it is called the center and why is it important to find the values of these variables, which is h and k. So, first of all po, we have conditions. Depende sa given para malaman natin yung value ng ating center, which is h and k. So, first of all, kapag yung given natin is in standard form of quadratic function. Like this example, let's say, hahanapin natin yung value ng center ng quadratic function na ito in standard form. So, y is equal to 2x squared plus 12x plus 14. So, how do we able to find the value of the center if the given is in standard form of quadratic function? So, first of all po, meron tayong formula if the given is in standard form. So, the formula is this. In h, we will need to use the formula negative b all over 2a. And then, kapag naman k na yung isosolve natin, we will use 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So, you need to remember this formula kasi it depends on the given. Okay? First of all, kaya kailangan you know when the given is like this, you know how to get the value of the center, and then kapag naiba yung given, you also know how to get the value of the center. Either way, kahit ano pang ibigay sa inyong given, alam nyo dapat yung gagawin nyo. So kapag may formula, make sure you know, as much as possible, you memorize the formula. Okay? So para mas madali na lang. So if the given is in standard form, first, we need to identify the values of A, B, and C again. So, ang A natin is the coefficient of the quadratic term, which is 2. Yung B natin is 12. Yung C natin is 14. And then, right after natin ma-identify yung value ni A, B, and C, we need to substitute that in our formula para malaman natin yung value ni H and ni K. So here we have H, and then we have negative, the value of your B is 12, all over 2, the value of your A is 2. And then we have H is equal to negative times 12, that is negative 12. And then over 2 times 2, that is 4. Negative 12 over 4, this is equal to negative 3. Therefore, the value of your H is negative 3. How about the value of your K? So again, we will use the formula, and then we will have 4 times A, which is 2, and then C, which is 14, minus B is 12 squared, all over 4, your A is 2. And then we have K is equal to 4 times 2 times 14, that is equal to 112, minus 12 squared, that is 144. All over 4 times 2, that is 8. And then 112 minus 144, the answer is negative 32 over 8. Negative 32 over 8 can be simply written as negative 4. So that is the value of your K. Negative 4. Now, the center of example number 1 is quantity negative 3 and negative 4. So that is how you find the center if the given is in standard form of quadratic function. How about if the given is like this? How about if the given is written in this form? So this is the other form of quadratic function. So how do we able to find the value of the center if the given is in this form? So always remember po na yung given natin is based on this format. Based on this format. So as you can see, in this format of quadratic function, meron siyang H and K dito. Therefore, we do not need to use a formula because we will just be observing the values of H and K according sa format ng quadratic function niya. In this case, yung H natin is this. In this part. And then yung K natin ay nandito sa part na to. Okay? But then, there is a certain rule. Kapag po, hahanapin natin yung value ng H, this is x minus 4, di ba? So, technically, dapat ang value ng H ay negative 4. But then, kapag hinahanap natin yung value ng H in this form of quadratic function, you need to get the reverse sign of H. Okay? And then sa K, ika-copy mo lang. Copy everything. You need to copy everything, pati sign. Okay? So in this case, we have x minus 4. So technically, it should be negative 4. But then, we need to get the reverse sign. So imbis na negative 4 yung value ni H, magiging positive 4. So it is 4. And then, si K, itong side na to, we need to copy. Just copy everything, even the side. So, positive 5, yung K. So, therefore, the center of this given is quantity 4 and 5. So that is how you get the values of the center if the given function is in standard form and if the given function is in this form.